Hey guys, what's up? It's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm fixing to go to bed. So you know me, I don't have my makeup on or anything like that. And my face is breaking out right here. It fucking sucks. But anyway, so I thought, you know what? I'm like so good about just like getting on and doing like fucking real quick live videos. I thought, let me get on and kind of do what I do at night. And so that way you guys will know. So a lot of the times at night, when me and Nate and Neil are getting ready for bed, they will be downstairs like lingering or whatever, you know, like what kids do and husbands do. Him and Nate and Neil were playing Nintendo together and just, you know, doing boy stuff. And I'll be upstairs in my bed, just kind of relaxing, getting ready for the evening, getting myself settled down, right? And what I've been starting to do in my mind while I'm laying there and I have like some quiet time while the boys are downstairs is I've been making a nightly gratitude list. And so I kind of wanted to share that with you guys tonight before we go to bed. Hey, Golden Coin. So that's what we're going to do. So I have a lot of things that I'm grateful for, but I have some that I want to share with you that I've kind of just stumbled upon today. And like I realize that I'm very, very fortunate, you guys. I have a roof over my head. I have wireless internet, you know, Wi-Fi. I have food. I have, you know, my vehicle, a job. I have so many things that a lot of other people don't have, you know. But I feel like having a channel and being able to come on here and share how I'm feeling throughout the day and just what I'm going through in my life with you guys is like something that a lot of people don't get to experience. And what I equate it to is community and fellowship, and the sense of community and fellowship that I have through this YouTube channel and getting to know all you guys has been so beneficial for me and therapeutic and just fucking badass. I feel so blessed to be at a point in my recovery where I can come on and just share who I am with no shame, no reservations, no embarrassment. I haven't felt good about myself in a long time, and I finally feel. And I know I finally feel good, like I'm making good choices, you know? And because I'm making good choices, I feel good about myself. And I know it might not even seem like that big of a change, but just making good choices to eat healthier has made me feel 10 times better. Just making the choice to taper off of Lexapro and just be on my one medication has made me feel so much better already. And it's all, you know, it doesn't happen overnight. Like I have been tapering from Lexapro for the last 8 months. And I finally got to a point where I was like, I'm ready to get off this, you know? But it's all just been like, I guess sometimes I get impatient and I think, when is this ever going to end? Am I ever going to get to the point where I'm finished? And like, I'm constantly having to remind myself that like, there's no finish line, and that as long as I can do better than I did yesterday, that I'm making progress. You know, I have to constantly remind myself that there's no finish line. Like I'm not ever going to be done. And that as long as I keep moving forward, I'm doing the right thing. You know what I mean? Because for me, it's easy for me to get like stunted, like stagnant, like complacent, and fall back and not make progress. And so being able to come on here and like upload little videos, like kind of documenting my progress has been so beneficial for me. And I'm just so grateful to have you guys supporting me. All the comments, I read every one of your guys' comments, like every one of them. And they mean so much to me. And I'm finding people on YouTube, you guys, that are like, I'm so excited to find these new channels that are like, they have such good content and they're smaller channels. And it's like, how do these people not have 1 million subscribers, you know? But like, I want to leave an imprint on the world. Like, I want to know. I don't want to be like I was when I was in my addiction. I don't want to leave behind. I don't want to constantly take. I want to give and leave behind a legacy of me giving and helping others. Because for so long while I was in my active addiction, I just took and took and took and took. And now it's like I'm making a difference. I'm making a difference not only in my own life, but I'm making a difference in other people's lives. And that is a huge thing for me. It feels so good to be able to help other people. And the only way I'm helping other people is by being honest and transparent, you guys. I have been on an emotional roller coaster the last like week, you know, but I could have never jumped off of an antidepressant 3 years ago because I was so erratic with my behavior. I was so, you never knew what I was going to do next because I was always so high. And it's like now I actually have stability in my life and I have like a plan and I have a schedule and I wake up and I go to my job, I take my son to school. Like I have a schedule and I'm following through with it and I'm not deviating from the plan. Like normally when I was in my active addiction, I would wander off course all the time because I didn't have a course. First of all, it's like a zigzag, you know. It's like now I'm on a damn road, and we're going straight ahead, you know. And I'm not like turning left or right all the time. Like I'm staying on course. And I had a guy reach out to me on Instagram today, and he was like, "I'm 5 days sober, right?" And I told him, I said, "Stay the course. It's so worth it, you know, like." If I could look back, if I could have told myself 3 years ago, you know, hey, this is going to be worth it. Your life, you're going to change. Your life is going to change so much that you're going to be happy and that you're going to want to give back and help others. Like I never, ever thought that I would want to do things for other people because that's not what I was about. I was always about me and taking what I could get and getting, you know, because I was always sick or searching for something to make me feel differently. And it's like, I finally feel like I don't have to search for something to make me feel different. Like, I feel good about myself. You know, I'm not perfect. Here's the thing, like, I feel good about myself. And I've never felt good about myself. Even when I was skinny and like thought I was so, like, I never felt good. And right now, like, I know that I want to be healthier and I want to lose weight, but even though I'm not at the weight I want to be at, I still really feel good about myself because I'm doing the right thing and I'm doing good things, and that shit makes you feel good. Like when you're honest and you are kind and you are selfless and you do things for others and do a good job at your work, and it makes you feel good on the inside, you guys. It really fucking does. I used to think people that like did nice things or did the right thing were squares. I was like, oh, those are fucking nerds, you know? And it's like now I'm like, I realize that I wish I had been doing the right thing all along, because if I had, I can't even imagine where I would be today if I had been doing the right thing all along. Right, Charity. And that's what I feel like it is. It's like I have this inner peace. You know, it's like I know without a shadow of a doubt that what I'm doing is the right thing and that I'm on the path that God wants me to be on. Like, I truly believe that He has placed me right where I'm at with the story that I have to tell, to share and to help other women that are in the same problem, same situation that I'm in. You know? And it's fucking awesome, you guys. Like, it feels good to be on the right track. And there's so many years that I was not on track. There's so many years that I was just so lost, homeless, out on the street, shooting up, using other people, hurting others. And it's like, I know that I had to take all that time to get to where I am. I know that I had to go through all that shit because I had to get to a point where I was sick and tired of being in that shit. You know what I mean? And so I can't look back on it and go, if I only could have, it's like I had to go through each one of those horrible situations to learn and to realize and to really, I had to realize how precious life is and how important it is to have a connection with people in your family and be present. Because all we really have is each other. I mean, think about it. If all the money in the world and all that stuff was gone and all that didn't matter, all we have is our relationships and our friendships and our, you know, the connection with each other. That's what makes life, you know? So it's just been, I fucking feel like I'm just getting to a point where I feel good about my life. And I haven't felt that in a long time, you know? So it's a good feeling to have. And it's like we're starting out this year, 2019. It's a fresh new start. I mean, I feel like I've never started a year out like this where I felt like I was stepping into the year positive, and I don't know how to explain it, you guys, but it's just like fucking awesome. I also have been like, dude, I'm telling you, you got to go check out this guy's channel. He's called Doc, and he has a channel, and he's a doctor, and he talks all about the disease of addiction. And I've been watching his videos all day, and his videos are so good, and he has so much information, and it's just like it's reassuring. His channel's called Doc, D-O-C, Park, P-A-R-K, and he is a literal doctor, y'all. And he has his own website, his own practice, and it's really awesome because he's an addiction specialist. He specializes in the disease of addiction. And so it's so great to be able to go to his channel and hear this information, because it's almost like having a doctor right there that you can ask questions to at any time. I'm so glad I found his channel, you guys, and I'm probably going to think about his channel for the next week or so because I'm so excited. I'm like binge watching all his videos. But yeah, it's just the disease of addiction is coming back fast, and together we can fight this, have each other to help each other, you know? I know that I say that a lot and it might seem redundant. I can't stress to you guys enough how important it is to get connected and to talk with where you know what you're going through. It's paramount to have that connection with other people who are doing everything you're doing. Sorry. Okay. I don't know what's going on with my phone. We're so that we have this internet so we can just connect with each other at any time. I wanted to come on, and I want you guys to take part in this too. Before you go to bed tonight session, I want you to think about 3 things that you are grateful for. 3 things that you have now that you didn't have in your addiction. Okay, it doesn't have to be a material item. It doesn't have to be, it can be anything. It can be, like we were talking about, peace of mind. It can be your self-confidence. It can be, you have a job now and you didn't have that before. I want you to list 3 things that you have today that you did not have when you were in your addiction, and really reflect on those things tonight. When you're laying in bed tonight, think about all the things that you've accomplished now in your recovery. Listen, you guys, it doesn't matter if you have 2 days sober or 25 years sober. We all have things that we can be thankful and grateful for. And even at, a couple days sober, that clarity and that peace of mind that you're going to bed tonight and you're going to wake up in the morning and you're not going to be sick and you're not going to be hungover, or you don't have to worry about paying the dope man, or you don't have to worry about, having your family disappointed in you. I can tell you that I love waking up in the mornings and not having to worry about what I did the night before. I love being able to wake up it's like waking up to a fresh start every morning. It's like waking up to just brand new white snow, But when I was in my addiction, every morning I woke up, I dreaded it. I knew that when I was going to wake up, I was going to be sick as fuck. And I knew that I was going to either be in some hell of a trouble because I probably either cheated on my old man or stole something from somebody or passed out somewhere I shouldn't have passed out, all those list of things. So one thing that really helps me to kind of like put my life into perspective is to compare what I was like then to what my life is like now. And it also helps me to remember what it was like back then. Because, honey, I hear a lot of people talk about how, oh, well, I don't want to think about my life back then. I'm cured, or, I'm not an addict. I'm over that part in my life. It's like, no. Listen to me. We might be recovering, but we're never going to be recovered. And we are always going to be working towards a better version of ourselves all the time. And don't let your mind tell you that you've got this whole thing under control, because that's what the disease of addiction does. It creeps in and it tells you that you're in control. And that's what happens to us is we get cocky and we think, oh, I've got this, and then we start letting up on the practices that help us stay sober. Even you guys, the things that I suggest, like going to meetings, getting a sponsor, talking with other people in recovery, getting into some recovery groups, maybe going to therapy, like you guys realize, like, you don't have to do all those things. But if you'll pick out some suggestions that I kind of say and mold it to what works for you, that's what I did. I took every suggestion that my sponsor said to me at the beginning. But the longer I stayed sober and the more progress I've started making, then I started kind of tweaking things around a little bit and making it to work for me. And now I feel like I've got this awesome little program that I practice every day that works so great for me. And now that it's a new year, new me. Now I'm adding new things into it, to help with my health. But it's like each year I feel like I have kind of adjusted the things I do to stay sober, because each year I'm growing and I'm becoming, I don't know how to explain it. I'm growing, y'all. I'm growing. And when we're in our active addiction, we weren't growing at all. We were stagnant. We're stuck. like I've heard the saying, and I think it's true, that we are basically the first time you use drugs and alcohol, started abusing drugs and alcohol, like say mine was at 17. We are like the same age we were mentally. That when we started using drugs. So like I'm a 17-year-old girl still, you know? And I really think that's the truth, because we are using those substances and it stops our mental, like our growth and maturity, you know? And I believe that to be true. But I'm not a scientist or anything, or a doctor or anything like that. So I'm not sure if it's true, but I think it is. And anyway, I feel like in the 3 years I've been sober, since I was 17 when I started, now I'm 20. You know what I mean? Yes, because we're not coping with those emotions. Exactly. And so sometimes I get tripped up on my words, but I know you guys know what I'm talking about. If we all started using drugs and alcohol like in our teenage years, and we're all 30 somethings, because I've kind of noticed that a lot of people get sober around this like mid 30s, and then we're all like teenagers, you know what I mean? We're all learning how to live our lives as adults now, but we're like have the emotional capabilities of teenagers, of 17, 18-year-olds. So that's why I also have to remind myself I got to be easy. We got to be easy on ourselves, you guys, because a lot of us, we're so hard on ourselves. We are our own worst critics. And so when you're first starting out, just be easy on yourself. I think we talked about this the other day. Like, we're newborn babies, y'all, in our recovery. Okay. 3.5 years, that's a toddler. Okay. I'm 3.5 years into my recovery, and that's a toddler. Think about it like that. So if you're 30 days sober, you are literally a 30-day-old baby. You're a newborn baby. Think about it like that, because for real, we're learning to live our lives all over again. At least that's my experience. I use drugs how do I explain this? I know there's some of you guys that watch my channel that you started popping pills when you were like in your late 30s, and you got addicted to them through the doctor, and now it's been like 5 years and now you're getting sober from them. But that wasn't my experience. Like, my experience was I started doing dope when I was 17 years old, and I got strung out by the time I was 21. And then from 21 to 33, I was a junkie. You know what I mean? Like, my life was on the streets and hustling, and I had a good family, but I chose not to be with my family. You know, I chose to stay out on the streets and stay out hustling because my family told me if I didn't get my shit together, I couldn't so I stayed away from them. So my experience was like, my experience was a street level experience, a street level junkie, you know? Yeah, I did pills and stuff, and I got pills, but I was in that, the streets. And I do know there's some of you guys who watch my channel who are moms who got hooked on like Xanax, or got hooked on Adderall, or got hooked on, drinking wine and beer, and became alcoholic, and you realize you were alcoholic. And I know like how hard that is to be mom and have to take care of everything and not have that like relaxation time that you did when you were drinking. I was watching a girl that I follow. Her channel's called Happy Farms LA, and she uploaded a video today of her washing dishes, and she was talking about how it's happy hour time and that it's a tough time for her around that time because she would usually, drink beer and stuff. And I wish that happy hour time was the only time that I would drink, but I would literally drink all day long, like from the morning to the noon to the night, because I would get these jobs, you guys, where I would wait tables and bartend. My schedule, it was like all over the place. Like, I would sleep in till 3 o'clock, then go to work at like 4 p.m. and work until 3 o'clock in the next morning, bartending and waiting tables at the club. And so me and my sister, we used to always say this saying, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, because we would just drink. It didn't matter if it's 7 a.m., you know? But I wish, sometimes I look back on my experience with drugs and alcohol, and believe me, it's not anything I'm proud of. Sometimes I wish that I could have been able to just stop, you know, and not do all those things that I did. But then I wouldn't have all this crazy experience to share with you guys, you know? It's fucking crazy, though. Like, I hear a lot of people say, you know, oh, well, I didn't get that bad. I didn't let myself get to that point. And that's when I have to stop people and say, like, no, you had no control over that. Your higher power didn't let you get to that point, because it's only by the grace of God that I'm sitting here talking to you guys right now. Because the disease of addiction, you lose the power of choice when you're using drug and alcohol. Yeah, that's all it is, Charity. It's literally grace. It's God-given grace. Whatever your higher power is, it's grace. Because when you're putting substances into your body, you literally lose. I don't know how to explain this. When you're pumping drugs and alcohol into your body, right? People always say, oh, I'm craving. But really, we're powerless over drugs and alcohol when we're using drugs and alcohol. But when we get sober and we don't have drugs and alcohol inside of our systems anymore, like we're sober, we ain't got nothing in us, then we have the power of choice. Like, I can make good choices today because I'm a sound-minded. I'm sober. Like, I know that if this is a bottle of vodka and it's sitting right there and I'm sober and I have no vodka in my body, I can say, no vodka, I'm not going to drink you, and then dump it out, you know? But I also know that I don't put myself in compromising situations where I'm around drugs and alcohol, because it's a trigger and it's testing, you know? And sometimes I could be having a bad day. I could be just not myself, and that bottle could be there, and I could say, well, just one time, you know? And that's... A lot of people, I think, get confused, and they think, well, I'm powerless. I'm never going to be able to have. And it's like, no. Like, you're powerless when you're in your active addiction, because you lose that power of choice, because you're stuck in the obsession. You're stuck in the vicious cycle of drinking and using. Hey, Kelly. But whenever you get out of that cycle and you put some like days in between you and your drink or drug, put some time, and the more time you put in, the longer it gets away from you. Okay, now it's farther away, and the farther that gets, and see it, now it's out of the picture.
Mommy?
Yeah.
Can you please turn the Nintendo on?
I drove for years. I know, Charity. I did too, and I wrecked many, many cars because of that. I think I told you guys a story time where me and Neil were driving, and I literally drove into a brick wall.
Did you?
I did, baby. You weren't born yet, thank God, though.
Yeah, because I just...
Oh, I would have... yeah, that would have been bad news bears. But,
Bad news bears?
Bad news bears. We just gotta... Hey, Billy. We just gotta focus on making good choices today while we're sober and of sound mind. And as long as we keep practicing on making Nate, go upstairs.
Come on and turn
It's past your bedtime. Go upstairs, or I'm gonna make you go to bed.
Mommy, can you just turn
No more Nintendo. It's bedtime. As long as we practice and keep on practicing making good choices, like, I promise you it gets easier with time, you know? But I'm telling you also, like, I don't put myself around people that use or drink. Like, I literally do not go around that shit. I avoid that shit like the plague. I don't hang around the same people I hung out with when I was in my active addiction. And, you know, I had a friend of mine that I saw her after like 2.5 years sober, and I made an amends to her. And after I made an amends to her, she thought, oh, wow, I'm going to hang out with Nicole again. But she was still in her active addiction, you guys. And telling her no, I could not be around her, was probably the hardest thing I ever did, because I felt bad. Because I know that she uses Roxy and meth. I know that she uses because she's lonely, but it's like I also know that I'm not strong enough to be around that. And I also, y'all, I know I'm not strong enough to go around somebody who's actively using. Even here's the thing. And I hear a lot of people, they're like, oh, I want to help my friend. I want to help my friend get sober. Here's the thing. Here's the deal, you guys. We cannot change anybody's mind. When someone's ready and willing to make the change to get sober, you will know, because they do. They will say, hey, help me. I need help. Let's do this. That's why I say, like, if you have friends that are in active addiction, invite them over to the channel. Let them sit and listen. Let them hang out and be around here while they can be on the video and listen to us all chat. So I was for it. Right. And it's triggering. And every time I would see her, yeah, Kelly, for sure. Every time I would see her after I made that amends to her, because she started see, here's the thing. She called CPS on me and my son got taken from me. And that's how I got sober. For those of you that are new, I got sober because my son got taken away from me. And that's what changed my whole life. And that was 3.5 years ago. Well, 2 years into my recovery, I went to work one day and she was there. And I thought, this is the perfect chance. I'm going to make an amends to her. So I went up to her and I told her, hey, I want you to know that I forgive you. I'm not mad at you for calling CPS on me. I want to thank you because it saved my life. And we hugged each other and we went our separate ways. Well, then she started calling me because, she had my phone number. We were friends for fucking 10 years. And, but she was still high all the time. Every time I would run into her, she was high. And it was, even just being around her, not thinking, even if she wasn't high, just being around her because we used to use together was so uncomfortable for me, because I would have these flashbacks, triggers, thoughts of old times when we used to get high and kick it together. So it was hard for me to tell her, but I kind of drug it out a little bit, but eventually I just told her, I was like, I cannot be around you. It's hard. It's a trigger for me, and I told her, I said, I forgive you and I love you, girl, but I can't. And I don't want to carry that into my recovery with me. I wish you all the best. And, that's what I had to do. And a lot of people think, oh, well, that's really harsh. How could you do that? But you guys, listen, I don't want to relapse, and I care more about my son than I do about some friendship of a girl that I shot dope with for 10 years, and your friends that are actively using still, if they care about you, they will respect you, and they will respect the fact that you're changing your life, and if they want to change their life, that's great. But even if they do get sober, y'all, I'm telling you, even if your friends get sober, it's still I'm telling you, I have friends that have gotten sober, but I still don't go and hang out with them, because when we get together, we remember those times. And it's almost like romanticizing our past addiction. When we were we'll think about all the times we had when we were getting high, and then my heart starts racing real fast. And then, that feeling, and, I can be around a bunch of alcoholics and addicts that I wasn't that I didn't get high with and feel fine. And I can relate to their stories. When you're around somebody that you used to shoot up with and kick it with, and you guys start going back and forth and telling the stories and laughing, and it's your blood's pumping real fast. And then you start getting kind of you guys know what I'm talking about, the itch. I can't do that. And I'm telling you guys, changing people, places, and things, and separating yourself from those people who are still using, that are in your life, will be the best decision you ever made. Because what's going to happen? Here's the deal, and you might not realize it, but it is the truth. When people are using and they're not doing too well in their life, and they're getting high, they don't want to be like that by themselves. So they'll grab onto somebody else to do that with them. So that way, when they look at their life, and then they say, oh, well, I got Nicole here with me. She's shooting dope too, so it's not that bad. I know, because I used to do it. that way, when I looked at my own life and I realized everything was falling apart, but then I would look at my homegirl's life and her life sucked too. So at least our lives stuck together. You know what I'm saying? So when you get sober, you want to be around people who are, you know, doing the shit, like getting their life right. And that way you can have people to say, okay, well, she just got her license back in her new car. And I'm fixing to get my license back in my new car. And that way you guys just like encourage each other to do better and keep on growing. And that's why I'm, I needed support like that. And that's kind of why I made my channel and started like putting together little chat groups with all you guys so we can inspire each other to do better and to keep growing and going forward, almost like a friendly little competition, but not competition, like, because we need that. It's healthy. It's healthy to want to do better. It's healthy to want to achieve your goals. And when you're in addiction, you don't have any goals. You don't have any aspirations. I mean, your only goal really is to get so high, So, yeah, it really, I did that. Emails to them, but now I'm making new, deeper friendship. Yes, and that's what it is, Charity. We're making connections that will last forever, and these are the kind of friendships that you can call and say, "Hey, girl, hey, guy, I'm struggling. Like I'm really wanting to use, and this is how I feel." And you can open up to your friends that are in recovery with you, and they can say, "Hey, but it's only temporary. These feelings that you're having, this trigger, this thought to use, it's only temporary." And it's just like the relief, drugs and alcohol, it's only temporary. That's why we always had to use every single day and keep on getting high and keep on getting high, because the feelings produced by drugs and alcohol don't last forever. And it dissipates quickly. And then what we're left with ourselves. We're left with our insides. We're left with our sadness. We're left with our depression. We're left with our family members who are disappointed in us, our lost jobs, our kids who are crying and miss us. Those are all the things that you're left with whenever the drugs and alcohol, that feeling goes away, And then what do you have to do? You got to go back out, search. So instead of filling yourself up with drugs and alcohol, start filling yourself up with meaningful relationships, meaningful content, positive people in your life, new jobs and new aspirations, new goals. Like I've been really trying to like look at what I'm watching on YouTube, and I'm starting to hone in and like try to connect with people who are like lifting each other up and helping each other in your life, because that shit rubs off, you guys. The negativity rubs off too. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great night. And like I said, if you guys will do this with me tonight, when you're laying in bed, I want you to think of 3 things that you are grateful for. 3 things that you have now that you did not have while you were in your active addiction. And comment down below on this video after I get it uploaded, 3 things. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll talk about it some more. Good night, guys.